Hey people, it's your boy Main VR here. Just taking a little time out of my gaming to do what I guess it would be like a look back. You know what I mean? I've had my Oculus for almost 6 months now, and I just wanted to do a quick look back of my experience over the past 6 months and what I'm looking. You know what I mean? What I see in the next couple of months. I can't say much of what I don't see anything further. You know, I mean, it's just a few couple of games. So when the games are the only thing I've seen, I can talk about future wise, and it's only a few months ahead. I think up to March or April. But anyway, so let me just jump right into it. 6 months. Am I excited about the tech in VR? 100% yes. I love the tech. I love the eye. It's like so bleeding edge, so new, and I get to tell people about it, and I just love that aspect. It's just phenomenal. There's a lot of applications that are being done in VR that's just mind blowing. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of the art, you know, applications and everything like that. It's just breathtaking. 360 degrees video, it's a long way for that. You know what I mean? And watching one of those is like watching like an 80s bad movie. Like, just no, it's terrible right now. I know people. I think right now people kind of give the. They kind of give. Oh man, what's the word I'm looking for in my head here? Give a little bit of leeway to developers and everything like that. They give leeway to developers, kind of make it simpler for them, and they don't have to, you know, it's like they're not as nitpicky as I feel like they should be. You know, it's like I feel like they could do better, and people just cheer them on like they just made the greatest thing. And we know if that was just a regular game, we'll be talking about how trash that game is. But I understand it's the excitement of VR, and so you're just like, hey, it's their first type of game doing this, yada yada yada. But I think to me that's the wrong way of going about it. Don't have to tell them that their game are trash. Just the games aren't trash, but you want to be a critic. In the early days, I mean, it's less than 1 million VR headsets out there. You know, not counting the mobile version of it. We're talking between the Oculus Rift, the Vive, even the PlayStation 4 VR. Less than 1 million in taking those into account. And so this is the time for developers to test and try and you know, hone learning to use the controllers and everything, and mapping the buttons and nailing down locomotion and everything like that. And then this is what they're gonna use going forward. All right. So now, within knowing that whatever they are doing now and they're testing it now, these are their biggest risks now, because they know there's very little chance of recouping the money that they put into the games now. You know what I mean? But if they can build themselves a good reputation going forward, then as VR explode and people be like, they'll be like the Naughty Dog of VR, or you know what I mean, the Bungie of VR, and that's what they're hoping for. So I look at what they're doing now and take that into account, and I think to myself like, oh man, VR is doomed if they're going to take this as a stepping stone and refine this. VR is going to go nowhere, you know, because it's like a bunch of enthusiasm for things that most people aren't going to do. Now, I know you guys are looking at me like, what the hell is he talking about? So let's just dive right into it. All right, I've already talked about how exciting I am about the tech. You know, I got my touch, and this isn't elegant controller. I mean, honestly, next to this is probably one of the best controllers ever. It is phenomenal. You know, I think if developers were smart, I would even put support for this controller in an average game. And then Oculus could just sell these controllers with one of the sensors just to track the controller, and then it could be, it's just like another accessory. It doesn't have to go with the Oculus Rift, but it could go to any game. If they were smart, dude, do this, because I could see myself aiming at my TV, turning and whipping, and you know, in like a game like, you know, The Division or, you know, Halo. Oh my God, I love to play this with this controller in Halo. I know everybody would be like, but you would want to look around. Yeah, but if I never had an Oculus Rift and you handed me these controllers and tell me to point at my TV screen, this is like what Microsoft, if you guys would have released controllers like this with your damn Kinect would have blew up through the roof. Kinect would have been the sensor, and it tracks these damn controllers out there, and people could do fast-paced movements and then turn themselves all the way around and all that stuff. And this would have made controllers like this compiled with Kinect would have been fantastic, instead of waving your hands around and tapping at things that don't freaking work, you know? So the tech, fantastic. Oculus has done a magnificent job in designing the ergonomics for their HMD and for the controller. Now, let's now jump into the games. And in jumping to the games, I want to talk slightly about the We Know Better crowd. You know what I mean? There's the We Know Better crowd fans, and then there's the We Know Better crowd developers. All right. And unfortunately, the We Know Better crowd developers seem to be taking over. They're leading the way, because they do their things, and then when a younger developer is trying to do his, and they go, no, that's not what you need to do, you need to do this, and then he alters his game to match up with what they say, because they're telling him this is the way it should be done, and this is the best practice for it, and then we are left with all the same type of games. Alright, so now let's talk about the fans first. And the reason why I want to bring up the fans is, when I do a video, and if you've watched my page, you know I'm seated. I play my game seated. Now, I will then get someone that comments and say something like, hey, you would have more fun if you were standing. Hey, that game is meant to be played standing. Hey, you know what? If you were doing room scale, you would have so much more fun. You should have traded your Oculus for a Vive so you could do room scale, and you would truly know what VR is. And I scratch my head and I wonder, do these idiots not think I've tried all that? You know, do they think that, hey, I came home, popped on my headset and go, you know what? Seated. Well, by the time I got my headset, yes, I had already made up my mind. But before doing that, I actually went to the store. I set myself up a Vive demo. I tried it. Tried the blue. Tried what is it? Space Pirate Trainer, which I bought. Come back to that game in a little bit. But when I did that demo, I hated it. Hated every second of it. I liked the idea of the tech. I thought the controller, that one, couldn't stand it. And then and then moving around, and when we were playing, and the guy's like, oh, you got to move around a little bit more. You got to duck, and those things wouldn't hit you. And I'm like, what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to come home from work and jump around and duck and squat and lunge and dive on the floor just to play a video game. No. Pass. Move on. Don't want to do that. You know? And granted, I know there's probably some people that are just looking at me like, oh man, you're missing out. You're not getting the true experience of VR. Well, if that's a true experience of VR, I'll take it with my partial view of VR. You know what I mean? I want to do what makes me have fun. I want you to do what makes you have fun. Alright? And so, why, not saying it's annoying, I don't mind the comments. And if you want to comment and try to convince me that that's what it was to do, you'd be wasting your breath, but go right ahead. I love comments. I want you guys to hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs down, thumbs up, because you know what? Any publicity is better than no publicity. The people, you know, but I would rather you hit the thumbs up. Even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, just know that I'm coming from a point of view that all of us should have the options of playing the way we want to play. Right? Now, after saying that, this is my biggest pet peeve, and now I'm getting into the developer side of things. Alright, so as I'm getting into the developer side of things, I want to play a video. It's a trailer for I don't even know how you say this game's name, but it's made by the developer 4A Games. You know, the ones who are behind the Metro games, Metro 2033 or whatever like that, games and everything like that. So they have a Oculus Rift exclusive coming next year, and I'm going to play the trailer for it, and then I'm going to discuss it a little bit, and let's see. So play the trailer. I'm going to give you my impression as the trailer is going on, and then we're going to discuss it a little bit before continuing on. It's only a minute long, right? So you're looking at the visuals. The visual looks fantastic. Look at that. That is gorgeous, isn't it?
Decades of technological
Interesting. There's
progress could not
something
compare us
going
to what
on.
happened. Vostok was first to feel it, and first to fall. For you, this is a job.
All right. Look at those guns. Looking
For
pretty
us,
sweet, right?
It is hope of another chance.
All right. Look at that shoot, that gunplay. Yeah, that is looking badass, you know? Damn, that looks intense.
Keep watch. Stay vigilant. Protect our home.
All right. So, now I'm back, people. And yeah, that looked intense, was it? That was mind-blowing. I'm like, I saw that trailer and all these things just went through my head. I was just picturing myself jumping into a room and these things coming out of nowhere, and I'm like swinging this way, bam, 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 swinging that way, bam, 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 dual wielding these things, you know what I mean? Dual wielding these bad boys, bam, 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 having so much fun, right? And then I found out this. It's teleport. Now, teleportation in VR is done in order not to make a group of people sick. You know what I mean? We don't know the percentage behind how many people get sick, but we do know that developers err on the side of protecting them over the side of truly immersing you and giving you freedom in the game. Right? It's that we know better. Right? On one hand, total freedom of movement by using your sticks. You could be standing, you could still do room scale and dip and dodge and everything like that, but then when it comes time to move, you hit forward on this bad boy, You want to turn, hit your turns on this bad boy, shave, bam on this bad boy, and then when those moments need for you to be and you're in room scale, you can dip and dash, and I think you would have a magnificent time doing that. And in doing so, those of us who want to stay seated can also do that. All right, and then you have the comfort mode, which should be the default mode, and then people like me should just go into the settings and change it to the way we want to play it. But let's follow me here. So now, those who want to be comfortable, you give them the teleportation, and so. And you were probably wondering, why did I pick that game when there's so many other games that do teleportation also? There's so many games out there that that just have you bouncing around and all that stuff. Why did I pick that game? Well, the reason I picked that game because it's not only is it teleportation, it's teleportation to specific spots that the developer has picked for you to go to, and then it's like you teleport to a spot, there's a wave of enemies. Teleport to another spot, waves of enemies. Teleport to another spot, waves of enemies. You get my drift here? There's no fucking freedom in this game. You just literally almost no choices in this game. You know, I'm gonna always be behind this barrel when I get to this point in this game. What if the one time I wanted to go to that side of the room, but no, I'm going to be in back behind this barrel inside of the room. I go to the next room, I'm going to be behind this desk. The developer has specific. There's almost no point to AI in this freaking game because the developers know exactly where you are. They can create patterns towards this point of funneling the enemies towards you. So you can shoot out waves of enemies and duck behind things because it's meant for you to be standing. Alright? No freedom. And when I pointed this out to the developers, I'm like, dude, you guys took our freedom from us. What I got in return was, well, people get sick when we have them move around. I'm like, oh, I understand that. I know that people get sick, but I don't get sick. What about people like me? Well, tough. You know, because people get sick, we're not wasting any time figuring out how to make this game playable for people like you. We designed it solely around this aspect of this. Now, for some people that's probably listening and don't know too much about this game, they're probably going, bullshit. There's no way that developer did that. Really? Now, yes, they did do that. And it's time for us to listen along while he talks about what I just told you. And pay attention to what he's saying.
Andre, you guys handle it a little bit differently. You have very fixed points, but it works really well in the narrative. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, we tried a lot of options for the teleporting, but once we got we made a gray box level with the covers, and one of our guys from our team, he was playtesting it, and we saw how he he crouches, he leans, at one point he just dropped down to the ground and just was shooting like this. We just oh, that's the point. Then we started to progress in that way, and we were trying to make a little bit transparent covers, like we call them, like a cover with a hole, and etc., etc. And the immersion when you're doing all of that physical stuff, is so huge that we were just thinking, oh, if you have a hole, and why don't you just put a gun through you can put a gun through the wall, why don't you? But people are doing it so precisely, they're putting it like this, they're trying to feel it, they're trying to believe in it.
Right, look at that, right?
They just believe in it, yeah. And we just decided, okay, we will stick to the cover system. The most positive thing about the cover system is that we are not spending a brain cycle of player, oh, where should I go now? He just moves to the room.
I just wanted to pause for a second there. Did you hear what he just said? We are taking really don't let the player have any brain cycle of where to move to in the game. Right? And this is what they're telling us they're doing for our benefit. He just said he's not allowing you, the player, to think about where to go to in this game. They've picked specific points and then they put you there because they had their cover system set up. So it's their cover system, their aspect of not making people sick, far outweighs, because they know better, than your freedom within the game to pick what cover you want, to dip wherever you want to, and jump over things and slide or do whatever you want to. Now, once again I said I don't mind the room scale, standing, ducking. If someone wants to do that, fine. But you can do that within a comfort mode, and you can also do that with a traditional movement. You know what I mean? And we'll get to that later. Let me just let him finish this thing, and then I'll switch back to just me talking. And
he instantly, oh, I have this point, this point, this point, and if I kill that guy, maybe the point will appear. Bam. And he's doing all like this. And we were trying. Other challenge was like, how do you teleport? Because we were trying to like make it like a remote style. You just doing like this. But with our gameplay style, we have like a gun in each hand. And we just like, you getting distracted from the gunplay. So we just decided, okay, you pointing with your head, and then you pressing any of the face buttons like X, Y, K, B. It doesn't matter. You can use whatever you press. Yeah. So and it works fine.
okay, now, I'm actually stopping it right there because I think that was a perfect point to stop for me to also continue on with what I'm saying. He's pretty much saying what they do now is they don't even let you use the thumbstick or anything like that to pick a teleport point. You're looking around, you see something light up that you can teleport there, and then you hit any button. So there's no control mapping at all. This is a lazy ass developer, actually, what he is. You know, I mean, this team is I mean, I'm pretty sure this game is probably going to make money because people in VR are desperate for games, but it shouldn't. This game should bomb tremendously. It's the most laziest way of overcoming a problem, because they didn't overcome any problem. They restricted freedom, they took away thought, and then they didn't even work on mapping the controller anyway, because in teleporting you can't use the sticks. They do nothing. You know what I mean? So all you're doing with this game is point and shoot, look, point and shoot, look, point and shoot. What the hell have we come to? You know? Oh, man. So, now, I want to... And now, there's probably a few of you out there yelling at the screen right now. Like, dude, you just don't understand. You know what I mean? That's the perfect way to play VR. You know, you got to be standing up and ducking, and if you're not doing that, then you're not really playing VR. Yes. Okay. So... it came to my attention, and I'm going to be honest, I wasn't even thinking about this at first. You know, everything I've been doing is pretty much more selfish. But what about someone in a wheelchair? So you're saying the millions of people who can't walk, have some kind of problem where they can't stand for a long extended period of time. What if one of you guys blew out a knee? You know, ended up in a car accident. You can't stand. You can't duck. You can't dodge. I mean, wow! At that point, you people are saying VR is pretty much useless to all those group of subset of people, because they can't do what you have decided is the way to do VR. Alright? So, is that fair? Is that a way to grow this industry by saying, screw you to the handicap? Because, you know, the way they might have to play is not how you considered playing. So, F them, right? That's the way we should look at it. You know, if this developer might have thought more than just that, he might have been like, hey, there might be some people out there that can't duck. They can't this, can't that. Now, all they're thinking about is some guy that they saw in their office having fun. He had fun, right? So that must be the way that it has to go from this point on. And that's annoying. It's just not right. It shouldn't be that way. You know, I for one know that traditional movement in VR in a first-person shooter works magnificently. Doom 3, you know, BFG, the mod, VR mod, is fantastic. It's by far my favorite VR game right now. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's my favorite VR game right now. It's blows everything away that's supposedly designed around VR, because to me that feels more in putting me in a situation than I'm standing here next to you know I'm 3 foot forward, 4 foot forward. I watch people playing with this teleportation thing, and it's like this jerk forward, jerk forward, jerk forward, shoot, 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 jerk forward, jerk. And I'm just watching them. I'm like, oh, I can't watch this. Like, I feel like I might have like an epileptic attack or something like that. Fall on the floor in convulsion because the screen keeps blinking, blinking, blinking forward. You know, and so I'm saying, like, yeah, to some people, that's comfortable. That's right. That drives me crazy. I can't picture myself sitting in a game and all of a sudden I'm like, blink forward. Oh my God, blink forward. It's maddening, actually. You know what I mean? And then these snap turns that these things do. It's just, frustrating. You know, I'm like, give me my smooth turn. Give me my smooth walking forward, and I'm good to go. But I understand that's me. You know, I don't expect all of you to want to play like that. I don't expect all of you to enjoy playing like that. And yes, I do know that some of you will throw up playing like that. But just because you throw up playing like that, meaning I shouldn't be allowed to play like that? You know, it's like a sad state of things, you know? It's seated, standing, room scale. What's wrong with a game having all three as an option? You know what I mean? All you have to do is have 2 control settings for seated, 2 control settings for standing, 2 control settings for room scale, and it all's going to be traditional, comfortable, traditional, comfortable, traditional, comfortable. Boom! You're done. And then once we do that, then everybody could just use the same setup all the way across all game. It can become a standard instead of these random things, because what they're doing is the standard is becoming solely comfortable. There's no other option, just comfortable. And you know what? Not for everybody, comfortable is fun. You know, back to that game. Like I said, my favorite game right now is Doom. And also Windlands. Even though I mean, like, there's nothing to shoot or to kill in that, and I get really bored after a while. But just the movement, oh my God! The first like 15 minutes running around in that. I do it in 15-minute clips, just running around. I don't really even search for anything. I just love that feel of that freedom of movement that game gives me. And because of that, I adore that game. Well, before this runs on any longer, I'm going to end it right here. And just say, like, look, let's stop with the we know better things. You know, it's not going to be very helpful for VR going forward. So let's just cut that out. We don't know what the other person's situation is in. Okay? You know, what if I was someone paralyzed from the waist down and all people saw was, you know, they see me shooting like this and then I get all these things that are like, hey dude, you should stand up, and my reaction to you is like, well, I can't stand up. What are you going to tell me then? I should stop playing VR because I can't stand up? You know? You got to think of other people beyond just yourself. Because the only way we're going to move things forward isn't to sit and think about your own dogma, but to think of creative ways that we can solve problems that everyone can enjoy this magnificent medium. Okay? Alright, thanks for joining me, people. And also, please, please, please subscribe to my page. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos going forward. I'm hopefully finding ways to up my production value. I'm going to get a green screen at some point and put it over there. And I'm going to come up with different ways of keeping it interesting for you guys while playing. So hopefully that you'll give me a shot, and we can grow this page together and also make VR a success that it can be, and make sure it can be played by everyone, no matter their physical, you know what I mean, setbacks or whatever, you know what I mean, because I would not want to be in a car accident, come home and can't play any of my VR games. I would just lose my mind. It's by far my favorite way of playing games right now, and I have no understanding why every game doesn't have a VR port. But that's another topic for another day. Thanks, people.